Hello and welcome to the Valley. Today I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Laurel Ridge Community College Day, so I'm back on the Zooms with Guy Curtis. He is Director of Marketing. Haven't seen you, I feel like, Guy Curtis, in a very, very long time. Where have you been?
It's been a minute. Yeah, we've had a busy summer here at the college and we're grinding and getting ready for the fall semester, and glad to have Brandy fill in for me to help talk about outreach and the strategies she's trying to employ to reach the folks in the community. And so glad to be back on. Thanks for having us.
It's also a good reminder for people that unlike our public school systems, you don't get the summer off.
That's right. That's right. We do work as administrators, we work full years, and I guess we get great benefits too. So if you're thinking about applying to the college, it's a great place. But yeah, we do work full year round. There's marketing plans always to be done and outreach strategies we're always looking to employ. So we're always spreading the word. So it never stops.
You have classes year round as well. While you have formal semesters that start, you have different programs that run throughout the year, stopping and starting at all different times.
Yeah, that's right. Our workforce development team has continuous open enrollment for various classes that actually some fall the typical semester of fall and spring or even summer, but they have open enrollment for different classes that start in October, November, December. So when you're ready to start, we typically have a class working for you. And obviously, our traditional student credit based programs, they start in September or early August, and they have different starting weeks. So that's your usual fall semester, and even to the spring semester as your typical start date in January. We're always looking for folks to come online, whether in person here on our campuses. And so, depending on the class and program, we have a different start date for you.
That's why I'm glad that your guest today, Buddy Wilson, is joining us. He is Director of Financial Aid for Laurel Ridge Community College, because I think sometimes, Buddy, people think, well, if I'm not going to college in the traditional sense, starting at a semester and working my way through, that I'm not eligible for financial aid. So I'm glad that you're here to dispel a few myths for us today.
Yeah, Janet, thank you for having me. And I think that's a great place to start. We at the college really want to stress, and this is not just our community college, but throughout the state of Virginia, they're really starting to stress and want everyone to focus on the idea that going to college and being able to afford college and finding resources to help pay for college is something that we want everyone to pursue, and we want to help them through that process. And whether it's the workforce side, where we have Fantic and Fast Forward funding, and they have application processes on that side, or on the credit side, where we have a multitude of resources from federal to state, which I'll get into in more detail. There are resources available to students and parents, and there are some processes they have to go through with applications. And we want to help students and parents kind of focus in and know that if I want to pursue school and I need to find ways to help pay for it, there's processes in place and there's things that we can do to help support students and families throughout that.
I would imagine there is such a large number of people, even likely listening today, that have always wanted to go to college, go back to college, but assumed that they couldn't afford it and that financial aid wasn't an option for them because of their age or because how much money their parents make or how much money they make. And so much of that is not true.
You're exactly right. And the age of our students varies. We have students coming right out of high school. We have students late in high school coming to take classes with us. We have dual enrolled students. The age of our students varies. The resources we have available can meet certain needs. So we want students and their parents to look at us as a place where they can come, ask questions, find out what we offer, what programs we offer, and find out if it's a short-term fast track program that they need, what funding sources do we have tied to that, whether it's federal through the state, or if it's more of a long-term 2-year associate degree program or a transfer program before they go off to a 4-year school. We have options and ways for students to help pay for college.
I love that you have an entire department dedicated to this so that I can call and ask my questions before I ever start the online form or start filling out any paperwork so that I'm in a better position when I do get to that step.
We are very fortunate. We have fantastic staff, both on the workforce side and on the credit side in financial aid. We have a lot of experience with folks. We have some folks who have been in roles and in positions for over 15 years at the college. So they bring a multitude of experience and ideas, and they're very creative. We obviously are very much streamlined and have to follow federal and state guidelines when we process an award aid. But we also have been able to expand our services through the implementation of new student coaches that we have at the college to help students and families apply not only to just become a student at the college, but also with things such as applying for financial aid navigating processes to make sure you have your residency established so you're paying the right rate, whether it's in-state or out-of-state, making sure that you do things like applying for fast forward funding and making sure that you're accessing those things so you're not paying money that you can get help in terms of the overall cost. Because as we know, the cost of college is a huge challenge to most of our population. So it's something that we want to be able to assist people in. And just getting into school, oftentimes the cost is the biggest barrier. So we want to help people through that so they can get in the door, get into the classroom. And we find that most of our students become very successful once they've gotten started and are in the classroom.
There are probably, when you're looking at a set of scales, the side that says I can't afford it is probably much heavier than the side that says I'm not smart enough. So you've got to get over that one before you can even address the second one.
That's exactly right. And this we see this on the workforce side as well as the credit. The work-life challenges that everybody faces when you try to become a student, we do have students that come right out of high school that are getting tremendous support from their parents, both financial and in terms of time, and they may have varying levels of responsibility. So go into college, while it's challenging, it's something else you have to undertake in terms of their weekly schedule and the hours they can devote to it. They're in a much better place just starting off to be successful academically. We also have students that come back to us that we're trying to serve that may have kids of their own that are younger or in school. Those folks, whether it's work challenges, the combination of having to take care of your own kids and go to school and work, that's where the real challenge of how do I afford this? How can I continue to pursue my own academic and career goals while balancing my family life and the cost of the education?
I know from when my son was getting ready to go to college, and granted, that's been a lot of years ago. I understand that the FAFSA application is much easier now than it was 15 years ago. Do you help with that first step?
Yes, we certainly do. We have folks at the college who are designated to help students apply and complete the FAFSA application. The FAFSA application has gotten several overhauls in the last 10 to 15 years. Most recently, they streamlined it pretty significantly. I would argue now more than ever, in terms of starting and finishing your FAFSA application, it's about as smooth as it can be. Now, one thing I should point out, and this is with a lot of things involving technology, there's increased security standards. So something as simple as signing in to do your FAFSA application or signing in and getting your parents to apply. They have some additional steps. You have to invite your parents to apply. So all of our students who are under the age of 24 that need parental information on the FAFSA, there's that added step of inviting them. The one thing that does help with those, the student doesn't have to be right next to their parent when they complete the FAFSA. They can sign in on their own and do their section. And we have many examples of students coming to us. We help them get logged in. We help walk them through, answer all the questions. Then maybe they'll come back with their parent, or the parent will log in from another location and they finish it. And one thing I'd really want to stress and want people to take away from this is if you do the FAFSA application and you make a mistake or you make an error, we have all these things in place that allow us as we process it to make corrections or follow up and make sure that what's reported is accurate. So students are getting an accurate depiction of what they qualify for and what types of aid that may be available to them.
Does all financial aid start with that FAFSA? If I'm a 45-year-old person looking to get a degree or finish a degree, do I still have to fill one of those out?
The best starting point is with the FAFSA application. I would argue that's the best place to start. And it's a good time now to talk about an additional thing the state of Virginia started a few years ago. They now have the Virginia Student Assistance Application. They call it the VASA application for students who may not meet the eligibility criteria based upon citizenship or their parents. They do have a VASA application. And just like the FAFSA, the state implemented this. We help students and families complete that as well. Our new student coaches, our Pell liaison, Kathy Hill, also helps students with that. We help walk them through it. And again, I want to stress, it's not necessarily about getting every single thing 100% right. We want to get the application started. We want to get it submitted so we can really start to evaluate eligibility.
That I would imagine too is a big thing in that probably everybody on the planet has heard of the FAFSA, good or bad. But so many of us don't know about all of these other things. I want to talk about G3 and Fast Forward. Guy Curtis and I talk about that a lot. I want to talk about those in the second segment, but I think a lot of people don't realize that there is money available from the state. There are Pell Grants. There are all of these other things that some people who wouldn't know just wouldn't know.
That's exactly right. You hear a lot of times students will do a FAFSA and their parents, and they'll say, say, well, all they gave me was loans, or I don't think I'm going to qualify because I think my parents make too much money. And while that sometimes can be the case for some of our students, we have a lot of students in our service region who simply doing the FAFSA application is the beginning step to us evaluating, do you qualify for federal Pell Grant? Do you qualify for other need-based state grant aid, which we have a variety of sources from Commonwealth grant to part-time tuition assistance grant money. And this is a great time to reference back to our adult students. If you only want to take a 1 to 3 credit class, they have state aid that if you qualify for it, you can receive part-time student tuition assistance if you meet the need criteria for it. And what the state has recognized is not all of our students are going to take 12 credits. They're not all going to be full-time. They're not all going to enroll full-time every semester the way a traditional college student might, especially at a 4-year school. So they're really trying to identify aid sources. So that part-time tuition assistance grant is one, and then the G3 is another one that has enrollment criteria tied to it, and you have to be in certain programs that are deemed G3 eligible, but you only have to be enrolled half-time and meet the need-based criteria. You don't have to necessarily be full-time to qualify for that grant.
Let's take a break. When we come back, let's do a little bit more of a deep dive into G3, fast forward, some of these other funding mechanisms for financial aid. Can we do that in the next segment?
Yes, definitely.
We're on the Zooms today with Guy Curtis. He is Director of Marketing for Laurel Ridge Community College. Joining him is Buddy Wilson. He is Director of Financial Aid. That is what we were talking about today, and we're going to do more of that when we come back in just a couple of minutes.
This Tuesday, April Davis will change the world. She doesn't know that yet. All she knows is that she went to justserve.org and volunteered an hour of her time. Browsing through dozens of service opportunities in her community, April decided to spend her Tuesday evening serving dinner to mothers and their children at a transitional house. She doesn't know she'll be serving a particular mother and daughter who will be spending their first night in this home. April doesn't know that the hot meal she'll serve is the first this mother and daughter will have had in a week, or that the simple smile she'll offer as she serves them will help them realize that things are going to be all right. Which is why this Tuesday, April Davis will change the world. See the difference you can make. Sign up for service opportunities in your community. Visit justserve.org.
Welcome back to the Valley. Today, I am your host, Janet Michael. We are on the Zooms today with Guy Curtis. He is Director of Marketing for Laurel Ridge Community College. We're taking a deep dive into financial aid. So Buddy Wilson is joining us. He is their Director of Financial Aid. And Buddy, we were talking a little bit during the break about all the other different programs and how people qualify and who could qualify and how much money that you can make. Financial aid spans such a wide territory. It's not just that FAFSA. If I have my CNA and now I want to be an RN, or I have a son who wants to take up the trades in his late 20s, early 30s, there are so many different programs, G3 Fast Forward, that some of these students at Laurel Ridge can apply for.
That's a great point. I do really want to focus specifically now on the workforce credential side. The credit side also will use G3 funding. I'll talk about that as well. But on the workforce side, we have a lot of fast track short-term programs to help folks who are looking to increase their skills, increase their marketability in the job market. They have application processes and forms for students to fill out, and they have staff that help students fill those out. And it really evaluates what is the student's income, do they qualify for funding, whether it's FANTIC or Fast Forward. And the big key there is obviously you have to be domiciled a resident of Virginia to qualify for all of this state aid. The other thing with the G3, it's a last dollar funding source. So for students who qualify for G3 funding, both on the workforce and the credit side, the goal is to cover any remaining costs, tuition, fees. They offer help for books for students that have to buy textbooks for courses, but that is all last dollar funding. So they're trying to cover the last portion of the cost. I should also stress too is you have to reapply each year. So on the credit side, students go year to year. It's based on the academic year. On the workforce side, a lot of the programs may happen within 1 year, so one application cycle. The big key to stress too is the eligibility for G3 is determined through the FAFSA on the credit side and through the workforce financial aid application on the workforce side. And to give people a rough idea of how do I qualify, when they're looking at G3 eligibility, they're both looking at what program is the student enrolled in, what are they pursuing, is that covered under G3? They're also looking at the total annual household income. So to give you an example, it's under 400% of the poverty guideline. So the poverty guideline in 2026 has an individual set at a total income of $15,960. So essentially, if you're a single person applying, your total annual income would have to be under $63,000 to meet the income criteria. Or if you're a family of four, you'd be right under about $135,000, $140,000 in total income. Total income is different than adjusted gross income. We should stress that as well, that they're looking at the total income from a student and parent tax standpoint, not the adjusted gross income.
It is not a stretch to think that there are a lot of people in the Shenandoah Valley, single people that are making less than 63,000. And certainly given all my work with United Way, there are a lot of families of four that are under that threshold as well.
See a lot of folks who apply, and we have folks that are well under and meet the criteria. Now, I also should mention too, while the state has a lot of funding for G3, it is not a bottomless pit of money that we can just continue to access. There are limits to how much we are budgeted each year from the state. The state is very good at working with all the colleges. There's 23 schools in the state of Virginia. Schools that use more G3 funding, whether it's through the workforce side or the credit side, throughout the year, the director of financial aid at the systems office will say, hey, do you guys need more G3 money? Are you guys going to use all your G3? So we're constantly requesting additional funding so we can continue to award it to students who qualify. And I also want to point out too, if a student applies and qualifies and we don't have money available, that doesn't mean that they're cut off for the entire year. It's very common for us to have students apply. And then as we go through the enrollment cycles, especially on the credit side, if we have money come back to us, and we have money available, we re-award it to students. So even if a student pays us, if they do qualify for G3 funding and the funding becomes available, we go back and re-award it.
Get out.
Yeah. It's one of those things too, the more people we have coming to school, the quicker the money goes. So it's kind of a catch-22 of we want more people to come to school and access the funding, but of course that exhausts the funding quicker. But I do want folks to know that if you apply and you don't get it right up front, that doesn't mean that it's a no forever. It might just be that we don't have money allotted in the budget that we can exhaust at that point.
Those G3 programs, Guy Curtis, you and I have talked about them a lot over the years. They are built for people to completely change a career. I can't remember what the 3Gs stand for. I'm sure that you do, but I've been calling it G3 for so long that I don't remember.
Sure, it's get a skill, get a job, and get ahead. G3. Yeah, those programs are aligned with high demand careers. And actually, it's more than just like a 6-month program. Many of our engineering programs, nursing, more than a year of credit based typical degree learning is eligible for the G3 program. It's a lot of high demand opportunities. And I think that's where the state is realizing we want to incentivize more credentials across the state, increase the skill level. And then there's a lot of opportunities where markets are changing quickly in healthcare and other places. And so in demand jobs are always there. And I think G3 is a great way to get folks in there and get a skill, get that job, and then ultimately get ahead in your life. And that's helping support your family and where you work and what you do. And so I think it's why it's a wonderful thing to take advantage of. The other thing too is the scholarships. So we talk about federal financial aid and Virginia state scholarship opportunities, or I should say awards and grants. But our college awards several scholarships, and there's over 200 that you can apply for. So thinking through what Buddy's mentioning too, depending where you live, perhaps the unique program area that you're getting into, after everything's awarded financially by the state or federally, there's also additional scholarships to help you meet those needs that you have, whether it's in some cases transportation, childcare, perhaps even food resources that we have here on campus with our pantry. There's a lot of ways to meet the needs for most students. And just recently in our local view book, over $9 million awarded in grants, work study opportunities, and scholarships. So $9 million is being awarded annually to students for coming to our college. And so take advantage. I think it's a thing where most folks think that, hey, it's not for me, it's not for my family. But if you take that small step and get started, like Buddy said, get the FAFSA going, you're going to find out more things than you realize. And I think those are great opportunities to take advantage of.
But he makes a really good point because we were talking to during the break about my generation versus the new generation. And scholarships back in the day were not what scholarships are now. So scholarships now are built around what it is you want to do, not necessarily 100% the person that you are and how much volunteer work you do in the community.
That's a fantastic point, Jen. And Guy, thanks for bringing up the scholarships. Our foundation is extremely supportive at the college. Just last year, we awarded over $450,000 to our students. So we have an online application that's open year round. We encourage students, new students coming in, current students to apply. It's on our webpage at laurelridge.edu. The scholarship application stays open, and we are always looking for new applicants to apply. There's a lot of criteria. We have specific scholarships for certain majors or certain locations that students are coming to us from within our service region. So we really want to encourage students to continue to apply. And again, just like with G3, if you apply and you don't get awarded right away, that doesn't mean that it's a no forever. We might be rewarding money throughout every semester. Our foundation and our assistant director of financial aid do a lot of work on a daily and weekly basis to find students that need scholarship money, that meet the criteria, that are enrolled, that we can use that money to help. And we have a lot of generous donors that have given to the college, and we're trying to use those funds to help students both stay in school and persist to graduation or completion of whatever program they're in.
I would hazard a guess that a lot of those donors are people that went through Laurel Ridge Community College themselves and likely started off needing some of that financial aid. That's the beauty of having a community college in our backyard.
Yes, we're very fortunate. Our service region is very generous, whether it's businesses, individuals. We have a lot of people within our 7-county service region that donate to the college, and they're trying to give back and help students. The other thing I'll bring up too, in the past year, just our college board, our local funds that are funds given to us from the counties and from the service regions, we had about $290,000 in scholarship money that we awarded to students last year. So it's a huge benefit to the students and the local students coming to us out of the high schools, people coming back to school, to have that college board scholarship money available to access and go to school.
I want to make sure too, before we wrap up, that we talk about Fast Forward, because that's another one of those programs we've talked about in the past a lot. Guy Curtis has brought me guests who have graduated from the different programs that would not have been able at all to take that program had it not been for that Fast Forward funding.
I don't work daily with the fast forward funding as much as I do on the credit side, but that fast forward funding, there's some agility to that type of funding where you can apply that to a need-based area, or if you're trying to run a program, just like with the Fantic and the G3, that fast forward funding allows students who demonstrate need and are in certain programs to access that and help them pay for school. And it's a much quicker turnaround. Where on the credit side are the cost benefit and when do you get a job, when do you transfer? It takes a couple years, a couple semesters. The fast forward funding, the programs that they're helping students pay for and attend, it's a much quicker start finish so they can realize the benefits of completing that program much more quickly.
You've got a couple of open houses and some orientations and things like that that are coming up. One is tonight, actually, in Front Royal. Can you give me some details for those?
Yes, this evening, the marketing department at the college, as well as some other folks, are going to be in Front Royal at Reaching Out Now, and their address is 200 East 8th Street in Front Royal, Virginia. The event will begin at 5:30 p.m. It's an introduction to the college, give you some access to folks who work both in financial aid, folks that work in the student recruitment side. So if you just want to pursue any area of interest, whether it's credit, workforce programs, or have any questions about the college, that's a great event to attend.
It's a really low key way to get some questions answered and maybe figure out what direction you want to go in.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too. You're not going and signing up for classes or committing to make a payment at that event. It's really we want to help you get started and expose you to some of the things that we offer. And you can decide, okay, I'd like to take the next step. Where do I go from here? Who do I talk to about this? And we can really help get you connected and help stay connected to the college and guide you in the right way.
And most people, most students, by the time they become a full-fledged student, they've finished all of this. Most of this is in the rear view, and all they really need to worry about is getting to class and learning.
Yep, and that's a great transition to what we're going to offer in mid-August. We have new student welcome days. So for all of our students and parents who have already applied to the college or are currently applying right now, the new student welcome day events, they're put on by our student activities folks. Chris Lambert has been in charge of that for many years. I know you've talked to him before.
I love Chris Lambert.
Chris does a fantastic job of putting these events on for students, and he actually is doing 3 events. So Thursday, August 20th from 5 to 6 p.m. at our Laurel Ridge County Center, they're having a new student welcome event. And I have one at our Fauquier campus. That's going to run Friday, August 21st from 6 to 8 p.m. And then on Saturday, August 22nd, at our Middletown campus from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., we're going to have a new student welcome day. We do ask students to go online and register for that event, RSVP, just so we can have an accurate count. And we always want to encourage parents, supporters, family members, grandparents to come and attend the event as well. We have sessions in place, especially on the Saturday event in Middletown, where we have different folks. President Blosh will be there to speak to the families. We have sessions for students specifically regarding their major. We have sessions for parents about what can you do as a parent to support your student when they're enrolled at our school. And then we have time for students to meet with various offices, our financial aid office, our advising office, to make sure that they're in the right classes, have things in order. So when they come to class and we start the semester on the 24th, they're really ready to go and just start going to class.
If someone is already registered, they're coming to one of these new student welcome days, and then they find out that they could have applied for financial aid that they didn't. Is it too late at that point?
It is certainly not too late. And that's one of the things we want to promote as well. If you're coming to school and you've committed and you've made a payment and you're like, I think I should have applied, I don't know if I should apply, come see us, whether it's before the semester begins, after the semester begins. We have students that come in and apply the first week, the second week, midway through the semester. We really want students to apply, and don't assume that just because you didn't do it before school started that you're not able to. We always want students to come to us and say, I need help applying, and we help you apply, versus I just thought it was too late. We don't ever want that to be the assumption for our students.
And where on the Laurel Ridge Community College website can people go to at least get a base level information guide?
You can always start at the laurelridge.edu homepage. We have fantastic navigation paths for students. They have a search bar that directs you throughout the page. If you go to laurelridge.edu/financial aid, it'll take you to the financial aid page. But simply starting on our homepage and utilizing the search bar at the top is one of the best ways to navigate the school's website.
And Guy Curtis, we're sitting here mid-August, nearly mid-August. So I'm sure that there are a ton of other information sessions. There are new programs that are about to start. You tend to put all of those open houses and all of those sorts of things on the website as well.
Yeah, if you visit laurelridge.edu/visit, we have upcoming dedicated singular information sessions on specific programs. We also have a couple upcoming open houses for like the trades, for example. But Brandy and her team, she may have mentioned last month, but they're visiting the local libraries. August 20th from 1 to 4 p.m., Hanley Regional Library right in Winchester. Please stop by to see her and the team. But yeah, please visit that webpage, laurelridge.edu/visit. You can schedule a tour. You can actually connect directly with a coach. So if you're uncertain about a program area or where to get started, we have a great coaching team to help folks help with their next steps. Obviously, if you think about going back to college or school in some form or way, don't let costs stop you as you explore options. And I think today's conversation with Buddy, hey, complete your FAFSA, talk to the financial aid team there, and get your assistance lined up. You might be surprised you can actually afford many of the things at college. And it was so great to hear too, even if you've already started here at the college, you can still apply after that. I think that's a huge takeaway for myself and to share with others. We have a team of folks to help, regardless of where you are, what kind of options that are out there, they'll try to find them for you. So that's key.
So, Buddy, here's my last question for you. I filled out a FAFSA in 2012. Is it still valid, or would I have to start it all over again if I wanted to come back to school?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. And that FAFSA would no longer be valid. We have trouble finding it at this point. But in terms of doing the FAFSA application, this is great for all of our new students as well as our returning students and families. Every year you need to fill out a new FAFSA application. So right now we're on the 26-27 FAFSA application, and that's going to cover us from fall of 26, spring of 27, summer of 27. Starting October 1st of 2026, they're going to open the 2027-28 FAFSA. So for families like Guy's family and his son looking to go to school in that year, we will start doing 27-28 FAFSA applications on October 1st. And that's especially prudent for folks that are like applying to colleges, trying to figure out what options, trying to assess the cost of some of these schools. So October 1st of 2026, we will still be doing 26-27 FAFSAs throughout the remainder of our school year. But the 27-28 FAFSA will open and parents and students can start applying for that as well.
Guy Curtis furiously writing that down.
It's on the list. We have a lot of things to get through, looking for scholarships, looking for opportunities, but applying to FAFSA is key. So thank you, buddy.
Buddy, thank you for taking the time to kind of walk me through all of this stuff. I do appreciate it.
Thank you, Janet. I appreciate you having us on the show.
And Guy Curtis, I am happy to help you in any way you need to get this kid packed off to college.
Okay, you had experience, and off the call, we did hear some great, valuable insights of getting through the process. So we appreciate your time. And thank you for that experience, because I do need it. Thank you.
I will be back tomorrow with a brand new episode of The Valley Today, just a few minutes after noon. So meet me here then.